bring this meeting of June 21st, sorry about that, June 21st to order at 6:06. Right on. So, tonight I would like to have a minute of silence on behalf of Gordon White. Gordon White was a long-time serving reeve for Westmeath Township and the very first reeve in Whitewater Region. He has done a lot for both entities, and I would like to have a moment's silence starting now. Thank you very much. Our thoughts and our prayers go out to the family, Gordon White, to the White family. All right. Disclosure of pecuniary interests. Seeing none, we'll go on to announcements. Starting, I guess we'll just do mine. The township has put, or is putting, if they aren't already, at half-mast all of the flags of the municipality. Not just the one out front, but the big flag in the park, Westmeath, the fire halls, everybody. We will try and get everybody at half-mast in total respect. Gordon White was also a warden, and our Reeves sees his picture every time he goes to county council. The funeral is graveside at the Anglican Cemetery in Beechburg, 10 a.m. on Saturday. For any of the council or people that wish or can attend. Okay. Then we'll go back to Councillor McLaughlin. Have you any announcements?
No, the only only thing that comes to my mind is from the golf tournament. We had, thanks to the staff, we had 2 teams from Whitewater Region. The staff teams, I think there was 9 teams total. It was a beautiful day and a great supper. I don't have a figure as of yet to how much was raised, but I think they were happy. They were glad to get 9 teams. It was quite a struggle.
Councillor Olmsted.
Yeah, Connie may have to help me with this. There's a bike run leaving Westmeath. I believe it's July 8th. I think it's the Westmeath District Rec Association. Is that right? Yeah, putting it on. It turned out to be a fairly small event that they were planning, and I think they started out thinking 50, and now I think they thought if they got 150, that would be great. Now they're up to about 180 riders already signed up for it. But apparently a lot of the local serious riders haven't even signed up yet, which they fully expect. So they're going to be well over 200. And I think it starts off around 7 a.m. from the Westmeath Arena. There's a breakfast in that morning. And it's a bit of a fundraiser to go to some projects around Westmeath. So I'm going to hope to be in it as well.
I don't think
The
you...
3K one.
Okay, because I don't think they allow you to take the Harley.
All it says
Just
is,
saying.
all it says is bike run.
Yeah. It's the tour to Whitewater.
Sorry, yes, I did have an official announcement as well. We're having an arena operation discussion this coming Saturday. So we're doing a roundabout from Cobden at 9 a.m., Westmeath Arena Hall at 2 p.m., and Beachburg at 4 p.m. And it's going to be myself, Chair of Recreation, the Mayor, and Robert is joining us as well. And what it is basically to talk to all three areas, and the associations, whatever people are left in associations, are hopefully going to join us as well to clarify or dispel any rumors, or to just tell the community what we're up to, and that we are working together towards a new fantastic solution for the township.
Thank you. Councillor Mackay. Councillor Regier.
Thank you. Nothing at this time.
Reeve Miller.
Just the reminder about next Wednesday, those who are going to the county for the barbecue and the 150th. That's all I've got.
And I will add, we are flying the Lions Club flag on our flagpole. It's in honor of the 100th anniversary of the Lions Club, and it'll be flown until the closest business date of the 29th. All right. We have no presentations. So all I can say is going to standing committee. Mr. Olmsted.
We'll start with item A of the Building and Planning Standing Committee. Private road agreement with Ward Vice. Recommendation that the Building and Planning Committee recommend Council Township of Whitewater Region, to enact a bylaw to authorize the entering into a private road agreement with Ward Vice. Can I have a mover, please? Councillor McLaughlin, seconder, Reeve Miller. And
You'll recall that a zoning amendment had occurred for this property, and that was adopted as well as the severance. So the last step is the private road agreement to allow it to occur. It's the standard road agreement we would enter into. The one thing, the bylaw is later on in the meeting, and we're recommending it be withdrawn. There's just some survey-related matters that we need to clarify, which were a condition of the severance. So before we proceed with the formal bylaw, we'll just rectify those issues and bring forward the bylaw at a different time. But this is, we've already done the severance, commented on the severance, already approved the zoning. This is the last step in that process.
any questions or comments? All in favor? Carried. And that's the end of the Building Planning Committee. And we'll do the community services next. Item A, arena operations. Recommendation. This is a big, am I to read this?
I'll have to read it later.
I may need a drink of water for this one. A recommendation that the Community Service Committee recommend Council of Township of Whitewater Region number 1. You may have to listen carefully here. Approve that effective 2017-2018 arena operations be undertaken in-house by the Township of Whitewater Region. Number 2, approve the public information centers be held on Saturday, June 24th, 2017 in Westmeath, Beachburg, and Cobden to inform the public on the changes. Number 3, direct the CAO clerk to draft a job description for a supervisor, arenas and parks, a new full-time permanent position reporting to the manager of community services. Number 4, direct the CAO clerk to draft job descriptions for part-time casual arena operators. Number 5, direct the CAO clerk to draft a job description for accounts receivable, customer service coordinator, a new full-time permanent position to replace the vacant corporate services assistant position. Number 6, direct the Treasurer, Deputy CAO to prepare a draft supplemental tax-supported operating budget for arena operations being assumed by the township. Item 7, direct the Treasurer, Deputy CAO to prepare an amendment to the user fees bylaw to reflect the existing ice rental fees previously charged by the operating authorities for each arena. Number 8, direct the CAO clerk to provide 30 days written notice of termination of the existing leases with the Beachburg Recreation Association and Westmeath District Recreation Association. Number 9, direct the CAO clerk to prepare a draft 10-year lease for the continuing operation of the hall at the Westmeath Arena by the Westmeath and District Recreation Association. Number 10, direct the CAO clerk to draft terms of reference for a Recreation Advisory Committee to act as an information sharing mechanism and sounding board on recreation matters, to include representation from the various partners, including existing associations, with staff leadership by the Manager of Community Services. Number 11, direct the CAO clerk to draft terms of reference for an arenas working team, a subgroup of the Recreation Advisory Committee to provide feedback to staff and council during the transition of arena operations. And number 12, enact a bylaw to repeal bylaw 16-04-862, establishing and appointing members to the Cobden District Recreation Association. You're going to be busy. Can I have a mover? Councillor Rieger, seconder Councillor Mackay, and I'm sure there's some questions. Jordan, do you want to speak to this? No? Robert, yeah.
So, this all began, as you may know, after many years of service. Our arena manager in Cobden has moved on to the town of Renfrew. That's seen some retirements, and we congratulate him on that opportunity. We've also seen the resignation of the Cobden Rec Association. So again, very dedicated volunteers who've put in many years of service. So that required us to decide whether it was time to approach the other two associations to determine any desire to work together in terms of the operations of the facilities. And I can say that in discussions we had between staff and Councillor Olmsted led that charge with the Mayor, and Councillor Regier attended one of the sessions. They're pretty open-minded to working together, and you see in the report the resolution that came from Westmeath and the letter of support from Beachburg. So the other two associations would continue. They're not-for-profits. They have access to some fundraising funds that I think are very important in terms of ongoing investment in those communities and those facilities. And also in terms of programming, they play a vital role in organizing minor sports, and we do not have the staff resources to do that. They did acknowledge that it's getting harder to get volunteers to run the day-to-day operations of the facility, so this allows us to do that. So we would inherit all the casual staff that exist with the different associations, and some of the work that you're asking us to do is to integrate those operations with ours. The goal here, and I think the elected officials can speak to this, the goal here is to ensure those three arenas remain viable, remain open, continue to provide services in our community, and remain kind of community hubs, because that's what they are. So what we're trying to do is just integrate them into our services at the same service level, and doing so in a way that is beneficial for everybody. So greater coordination in terms of capital and maintenance of those facilities, because they will require continuous investment to make sure that they are aging facilities. Health and safety training for the staff that are involved to keep them safe, and all the required training that comes with dealing with ice plants and sharp blades on Olympias and ice resurfacers. So I view this as positive. I did get a communication from a member of the Beachburg Ag Society just to confirm that they have an agreement with the Beachburg Rec Association that they review annually that confirms their relationship. So that is another agreement that we would have to enter into, very much in the same vein of what is already there. But to me, that's a formality that we can deal with. So the goal is to hear from the public to confirm any questions or rumors that are out there. But what's important here is that we want to ensure that we, if we are to make those changes, that we can do them in a timely fashion so that we have somebody on staff so the ice can get in and the ice can be booked, and that they can work in collaboration with Jordan on a go-forward basis. So if there are any questions, I'd be happy to take them.
Councillor McLaughlin?
Nowhere in this report have I seen anything about the Forsters Falls Rec Association. What's the thoughts there?
So this would only speak to arena operations, so it wouldn't speak to, I know the rec associations help with the ball fields and also run all the minor sports. So in terms of programming and fundraising, that's really the new role that we see in the discussion we had with Beachburg and Westmeath. So what this means is that they would kind of act a little bit more like Forsters Falls does now. So we provide a lesser grant of money to Forsters Falls. It's probably something similar that we'll be providing to Westmeath and Beachburg to run, for instance, minor ball. So Forsters Falls would be a partner on the Recreation Advisory Committee, which was a specific request we got from Westmeath to stay involved and ensure there was better dialogue. So Forsters Falls would be there along with other partners that are offering recreation programs. So we're not really in the recreation program business. What this would allow us to do is to kind of take care of our own facilities, the operations of the actual arenas, so the ice operations.
Yeah, Darrell, just to further that point, so we're looking at a whitewater recreation advisory board, and that will be, I don't know when it'll be formed, but with these associations, we're looking at members from each community to sit on that, and Forsters Falls would be part of that. Forsters Falls, we have a Snake River one, we still have a Queens Line one. Well, yeah, they don't have a facility anymore. We were still giving them money even though they didn't exist anymore. I know we don't anymore, yeah. But we're looking for members from all over the community, not just from these three arenas to form that board.
I guess why I brought this up was because I see nothing in the whole report, and I think it's still very valuable to Whitewater region that we have, and we're lucky to have a rec association out in Forsters Falls. And to clarify, the one at Queens Line has dissolved. I think that's another thing that we need to get cleaned up there as well. But there's been no money given to Queens Line Rec Association for 2 years now.
Right.
Okay. So.
Okay. Any questions?
So just to reiterate, this is really about the three actual arenas as a result of the changes in Cobden. But yes, I think the Recreation Advisory Committee will be a great way to get everybody involved. I know that Jordan's been spending a considerable amount of time as the new manager meeting with people and relationship building, and that's very important. But our ability as council and staff to sit around the table and have everybody, all our rec partners around the table sharing information on what they're up to, what they're doing, how we can support them, I think that will be a positive step forward as well.
Councillor McLaughlin?
Sorry, but the money that was allotted to each of the arenas, is there a change there?
Well, go ahead.
So there's a direction in here for Marcia to bring back like a supplemental budget, because we're going to be responsible for not just the expenses but the revenue. The grants have not been allocated, so then there's going to be a rethink in terms of the grants. However, they do provide other programs, for instance, ball. So it's not necessarily that they're not going to get a grant, but Marcia's going to come back with a revised budget where we can speak to the grant aspect, but then also all of the revenues and expenses that come with running the three facilities.
Okay, and my next question then is benefits. The benefits for all these employees, are they going to be the same benefits as our staff get?
No. So there will be one supervisor of arenas who will also assist with parks. That person will be a full-time staff member with Omerson benefits, and that replaces, just to refresh everybody's memory, two full-time, pretty much full-time arena managers in Beachburg and Cobden, and a part-time in Westmeath. So that will be one. All the others will be casual part-time employees, so therefore they won't have benefits or OMERS.
Okay, 'cause when I read that, I thought, oh boy. Okay, that's good clarification. And at that, I don't think I have any more questions, so I'll just turn it over to the rest.
Anybody else? No? Everybody's good with the 12 recommendations? Okay, all in favor? Carried. Item B, summer swim lessons. Recommendation that the Community Services Committee recommend Council, Township of Whitewater Region approve the reallocation of existing funds approved for lifeguard staffing to reimburse summer swim lessons offered by neighboring municipalities. City of Pembroke non-resident fee of $43, Township of Bonnechere Valley session fee of $45. Do you want to speak to that, or Jordan? Sorry, mover? The mayor, seconder, Councillor Rieger, and Jordan.
Thank you. So unfortunately, the township was unable to secure any lifeguards for this upcoming season. So we looked at a possibility of reallocating the funds and looking to our neighboring municipalities, two of which were the Township of Bonnechere Valley and the City of Pembroke. The Bonnechere Valley cost per session is $45, and there is no non-resident fee. However, the City of Pembroke, there is a program session fee of $55 with a non-resident fee of $43, totaling $98. So with the model, we were hoping to offset some of those costs for the children in our region. And so we felt that we could offset the cost in the Township of Bonnechere Valley of $45, which would cover the program fee, and then, of course, the non-resident fee of $43 in the City of Pembroke. Whitewater residents that are wishing to put their children into the program in the City of Pembroke would still be responsible for paying the program fee of $55. Which is really, what's good about this is with aquatic programs, you know, this is something that's really important. It's a life skill for children, and we felt that we'd still want to give that opportunity to the children within the region. Any questions?
Councillor Mackay?
Is that $45 every lesson?
So it's the way the lesson works is that it's a program. So depending on, with these summer programs, usually they're condensed. So as you can see in the report, with Bonnechere, it's a 3-week session, and then the City of Pembroke is a 2-week session. There is a mandated amount of time they still have to put in. So some programs might be shortened by 15 minutes per evening or per session. But to answer your question, it's an actual program itself. So.
Okay.
Councillor McLaughlin?
For how many people did we have last year? Does anybody know how many were registered? Because I got an awful lot of great feedback from the program we do, and I was so disappointed when I found that we couldn't find an instructor, because the people certainly really enjoyed both spots, both Nangor and the Little Lakes, and I got a lot of positive feedback from both, and they were looking forward to putting their children back into that program again this year. So I just wondered how many there were, and I think if we were going to do this, we should at least notify those people that had their children registered last year to officially let them know that unfortunately this is what we're up to. It's too bad we can't find somebody. We have the facilities. The facilities were great. The only question is, they said they needed a bigger sunshade at Little Lakes. Other than that, everything else seemed, what I heard anyway. I don't know if anybody else had feedback, but the rest was good. So I would be in favor of this, but I think that we need to notify the people that had enrolled last year to let them know what's happening.
Mayor?
I agree with Councillor McLaughlin, and that this is important. I've had a lot of good comments about last year. Very disappointed again, as Councillor McLaughlin. But I have had quite a few emails from residents that are pretty interested in this year. And so I think we need to do a very good advertisement program in this regard. We just got to get it out there and make sure that in lots of time so they can get enrolled. I'm not the one that knows how to do that, but I think we have to get that so that our residents have a good chance at it.
Absolutely. So just to comment on that, so we do have advertisements that go out, but I think the challenging thing here is that it's not just a summer job, it's an actual certified job. So with anything that's certified, it kind of limits the amount of people that are actually going to come to the table with the right qualifications, right? So
It's not the first time we had trouble getting a qualified instructor. We've had these problems before.
The one thing that we'll look at, and we've had conversations with other municipalities that have the same problem. So do we have to pay more? Is that how we attract someone, or how do we, like partnering with our neighbors now, is there a way of partnering with them in the future? So at the end of the summer season, Jordan will look at it and make a recommendation ahead of the next budget, so we can determine what service, because it was a very people were very happy, I know from the Westmeath side of things, to be able to take swim lessons close to home. So we did advertise it. We did. It was at the higher end of what we pay other summer students, but obviously it wasn't enough to secure an instructor.
Councillor McLaughlin?
Just to further up on the mayor's comment, no, this isn't the first year we have not been able to secure. I remember back, and I don't know how many years, it's quite a number of years ago, the two people that did it, it's I think a brother and a sister team, and they've done it for a number of years here. And before that, we had to, one year, not. We could not find an instructor. So, yeah, I agree with what the CAO has said as well. I think we need to look at it and maybe make some changes so that next year we can get back at it.
Any other questions, comments? No? All in favor? Carried. Item C, use of Cobden Park by Valley Gospel Chapel. Recommendation that Community Services Committee recommend Council, Township of Weyota Region approve a request by Valley Gospel Chapel for the use of Cobden Veterans Memorial Park from July 29th to August 7th for their annual Gospel Tent meeting. And Jordan?
yeah, thank you.
Mover. Back enough. Councillor Mackay, seconder, the mayor. Go.
Perfect, thank you. So for the past 16 years, the group has had the opportunity to use the park and has been granted permission. This year's date is from July 29th to August 7th, and they will provide all the necessary insurance papers to us for their event, and we'll also monitor and maintain the washrooms during that time for them. So,
Mayor?
And they get locates that, make sure they get locates to drive the pins in.
That was your question as well, right? I've heard that question from you before. I'm getting used to you. That's good. Any questions or comments? All in favor? Carried. D, Whitewater Street Strut update. Recommendation that Community Services Committee receive this item as information purposes. Any questions? Everybody had a chance to probably not to read through that yet. And a mover. The mayor, seconder, Councillor Rieger. Maybe we'll let Jordan do that.
Sure.
Jordan's
I didn't hear the question, but...
Jordan's been working very hard. We're talking about title sponsor.
Oh, yes, absolutely. So I guess before I get to that, I just want to mention the fact that we've pretty much put this event together over the past couple months, and our committee has been working very diligently together and working really hard to make sure that we do pull this event off. And just recently we did sign our title sponsor, and I think that was the main goal for the event, was to at least secure a title sponsor who is JP2G Consultants. They've come on board for this year, and we've also been really fortunate enough to secure a couple other sponsorships from other people in the community and businesses. So businesses, groups, and there has actually been individuals that's come forward as well that's donated and sponsored the event. We've also received quite a bit in in-kind donations, approximately about $5,000, and everything from free radio ads to equipment and logistic items. So we've been very fortunate that way. We've gained a lot of support. We've also sold 100 pre-sale tickets to date. We were hoping for more, of course, any event is, but 100 tickets pre-sale, especially for an outdoor event that it could be a challenge with the weather, is pretty good. We've just recently launched our hard ticket sales, which are at 5 different locations throughout the region, and we've just secured 2 more locations, which will be announced tomorrow, which will actually bring us, one of the locations will bring us outside the region to kind of spread the word. And other than that, the event is in a little over, I guess, 3 weeks now, and we're looking just to push it through all our social media platforms, newspaper articles, as well as radio.
Any questions, comments? Okay, we'll move on. Item E, Healthy Kids Community Challenge Partnership Agreement. Recommendation that the Services Committee recommend Council of the Township of Whitewater Region enact a bylaw to authorize the Mayor and CEO Clerk to enter into the Healthy Kids Community Challenge Choose to Boost Veggies and Fruit Partnership Agreement. A mover? The Reeve. Seconder, Councillor Rieger. And Jordan?
Perfect, thank you. So at the last meeting I did mention very briefly that we were successful in receiving $7,000 towards the funding, and of course if it is authorized this evening we can move forward with the planning of this. And originally the application would support community garden and fruit tree hubs, and just given the actual timeline itself, some of those items might not be able to happen, but for sure definitely we'll be able to support the program through, or support the funding through programming, education, and of course cooking classes. We have up until the end of December to spend the money, so which gives us a really nice timeline for this.
Yes. Any questions, comments? All in favor? Carried. And that's it for me. Economic development. Isn't that the Reeve? Yeah.
2 recommendations.